water and other stuff. So you just, drink good water, good clean water. A lot of these fire victims now in these makeshift shelters, they're dealing with the norovirus, which is like the stomach flu, which I had. I believe it was either late last year or early this year. I dealt with that, and oh my God, you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. So I just cannot believe what these poor people are going through now. Some of this stuff, like I said, if I've talked about it already, I'm not going to get into it. Because these are notes, current event, recent events, talking points that I'd written down I wanted to talk about. We got this Khashoggi, this journalist that was assassinated, most people believe, by the Saudis. A lot of people don't like Trump's attitude. I don't like Trump's attitude about it. I almost wish he'd use the might is right card and tell the Saudis, look, we'll beat your ass. Don't talk about, you know, cutting back on production in order to manipulate prices up. Okay, we don't want to hear that crap. We'll beat your ass. You know what I mean? At least take out the kingpins that are running the country. That's what I kind of think he ought to approach it like that. Just the carrot and the stick is you confess to this thing and you're going to be charged, but you can't do this to journalists, okay, that are after the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. And if you're evil, they expose you, okay? That's the job of a good, decent human being, okay? That's whatever nationality they are. You know, I watch this Hal Lindsey report. I like Hal Lindsey quite a lot, but he talks about this rapture a lot, and he thinks it's going to come to prior to the final tribulation period. I don't read the scriptures like that. I think that the good, decent, upright believers are going to experience a good deal of tribulation before they, before God really does the final thing, which is this, the end of the age, the beginning of a new age, and people are changed in the twinkling of an eye. And this is where the perishable body, the mortal body, meets the imperishable body, the immortal body. And this morphing, apparently, is what's called in twinkling of an eye. This rapture takes place very quickly. But hell believes people are literally going to be taken up in some kind of like a cloud spaceship type thing. I mean, I don't know if Hell's right. I'm wrong. But I just don't see. I see that the good, decent, upright people, the saints, are going to experience a lot of the tribulation. Saints have died through the ages. But again, there's that right time in history when God stops allowing the saints to die. That the evildoers have so much work to do just watching their own behinds because humanity got one step ahead of them, and that we know that thought they were two steps ahead of us. Now we call them out. We saw where you were going. We're calling you out on it. So it's we're there. I believe we're at the precipice. We're at the breaking point here of big sea changes of unprecedented proportion, biblical level, earth-shattering, mountain-moving changes are coming to humanity, and that's a good thing. We just the good guy is finally going to win this thing, and the light is you can just barely see a little tiny bit at the end of the tunnel, but we can trust God. God is wholly good, and He is going to look after those good people, okay? Those that are right in His sight. He is going to care for us. He's going to protect us. He's going to comfort us and encourage us and mete out justice for us. It's going to happen. It's a little glimmer of a light at the end of the tunnel, but that light's going to slowly, gradually get bigger, and eventually it's going to pick up momentum, and these evildoers are going down, man. So this new age we're entering is going to be a seamless transition between the old one. And just like a wave, the light of truth is going to flush through the human race. And all those that would resist that, God's will being accomplished on earth, they're going down. They're going to that place you don't want to go. Alex Jones has this Joel Gilbert on the show. He wrote this book, Confessions of My Real Father, the one about exposing Obama as not being completely forthright, let's put it that way, about birth records and whatnot. I like the guy, but he too gets into economic stuff. And people, they talk, anytime they talk about anything that has to do with money, they've entered an economic discussion. So you got to take it further. If you're going to just, throw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to all the good socialists out there and good liberals that really believe people perception is reality, and just taking them at their word and believing that they believe at least that they're the egalitarians. It's just not fair. It's just improper. It's not right. Okay. It's not ethical. It's immoral. And that's kind of what I get the sense of that he's doing. He doesn't talk about the drivers of socialism like Alex Jones. What's driving it? Crony capitalism, dude. The wealth imbalance, dude. Don't lie. Don't be intellectually dishonest. Talk about it. Talk about the Labor Department, and talk about the buying power minimum wage 55 years ago relative to today, and what it would be to be commensurate. Talk about those things. You want to get an economic issue, Alex Jones, Joel Gilbert, talk about those things. Steve Pachenik, anybody else out there. Your specialty is something else, or you think you know everything. You don't know everything, and I'm trying to tell you everything. It's all very simple. There are solutions, okay? But if you think it goes against your self-interest to believe a certain way, then you become evil. Okay, you can't worry about that. You got to care about the least of men, or you don't care about Christ. It's as simple as that. So don't call yourselves good Americans or good Christians or good conservatives or anything else unless you get that basic truth. Put down your false pride, man. It's okay. They want us at each other's throats. So keep your false pride up, and we'll stay at each other's throats what they want. Give the George Soroses of the world what they want, another civil war, for God's sake. But your blood's not going to be on my hands or on my head, because I'm saying it right here, and you can accept it or you can reject it. But, okay, there are fixes, many of them. Yes, it would have been much easier to prevent it. We're in it deep now. We're in the dog poop up to our noses, and we've got to face it. So what are your solutions? What will definitely work? Not conjecture, not if you get your guys in, enough congressmen and enough senators and enough presidents in a row, all that crap. Okay, what is the permanent fix? Permanent fixes to these problems. No more ever again growing wealth, income, disparity, imbalance. No more of this crap. How are you going to fix it, man? Permanently. Turn to God. He'll tell you how. I'm trying to tell you how. I'm just telling you, there's fixes, man. And you're a liar if you say there aren't many, countless simple solutions to our problems. But there is a class of people that don't want it. They're called establishmentarians. And they've got us all stuck on this ship of fools. So physically, I can't jump off or I'll perish, because I need to pay my cost of living to exist. This tax, I got to play this game of money, this rigged game of monopoly. It's a bunch of cheaters and liars and murderers. Last week, I mentioned clan. Like, hey, listen, if you look up the term clan, all it means is family. And when I talked about the Restovich clan, okay, my mother's name was Restovich. Both her parents were Dalmatian immigrants, okay? The Restovich clan. It's a clan. It's a family name, okay? That's all. White supremacy, that's out of my jurisdiction. I am not involved. Never brought up, I never touched on that my whole life. I love black people as much as I love white people. I mean, there's good, bad in every cover, okay? So the cover of the book is nothing. I have zero loyalty to any particular color. White supremacy is for the birds as much as black or brown supremacy is to me. It's all nonsense. Okay, I had to listen to Harvey Levin on TMZ, and it's so funny. They got Ann Coulter and trying to, there's Nazis, and there's, I don't know who this group of people, some college or something, all these white guys. I don't know if someone told them to wave goodbye, but they were all standing close for the photo, and they were giving this salute. I mean, you tell me, what does a salute look like? What does a wave goodbye look like? What does a half salute look like? Okay, it looks a lot with the Nazi salute. I mean, come on, give me a break. To say all these guys were Nazis, I mean, they were. This is why I'm 100% pro-free speech. If somebody's such an imbecile that they think they can be a Nazi in America today, or a white supremacist, or racist at all, let them show their colors, man. And then we can give them the consternation they deserve. But if you got to make people hide it, then you don't get that. Then they repress it and repress it, and then it comes out in some other way that's far worse than what otherwise would have been the case. So yeah, let people use hate speech, whatever. Let them be evil, stupid, immature imbeciles and idiots. Let them do it. Free speech all the way, baby. But you know that this idea that they're going to make now Ann Coulter look like she's a Nazi sympathizer. I mean, come on, that's kind of beyond the pale, besmirching of somebody's character. But that's what they do. I mean, Harvey Levin on TMZ, I think he's got a twinge of intellectual dishonesty because I know he's a smart guy, but he never gets into economic stuff. I mean, let's talk about the meat of the matter. Okay, cut to the chase. Talk about the fact and what's causing all the negativity in our society, the social, political, and economic problems that we have. What are the drivers? We'll talk about this stuff and what it's going to take to extricate ourselves to fix the problems, huh? Why don't you get into important issues, Harvey Lemon on TNZ? All you guys, I mean, talk about the really stuff that matters, okay? Yeah, last week I was talking about this idea of putting up tethering 10-mile high wind turbines. People say, how in the hell are you going to suspend turbines? Well, I forgot to mention, you do it with glider wings, right? You could just use like fiberglass, lightweight composites for glider wings that were sufficiently large enough to suspend any size wind turbine you wanted to on a grid around the planet. And we could light the earth up like a Christmas tree 24/7, completely clean, all renewable, constant energy, right? Completely pure, non-polluting. And so with the tether, you could, just grease. You got to have grease fittings up because you can't have that perpetual. That's a lot of speed. If you go up 10 miles and you got a perpetual 50-mile-an-hour wind, if you go up 100 miles, you're at the edge of the atmosphere at that point, because the atmosphere is approximately 100 miles thick. But if you went up 20 miles, you got the wind is probably blowing. Oh God, it's probably blowing. If you go up, at 100 miles, it's blowing at over 1,000 miles an hour. So it's a draft from the Earth spinning. You understand? So it consecutively goes up the higher you go up in the atmosphere until you're out in space, where of course there's no atmosphere and there's no wind at all. But it's just one more idea for, it's disruptive technology. PG News, well, wait a minute, we make money off making electricity and it's dirty and we blame you for a carbon footprint, but we don't want to talk about disruptive technology and people being energy free and, self-sustaining. We don't want anything like that to happen. We don't want the people, and we need to rent it, right? So again, the difference between renting and owning your own energy. Yeah, I mean, if you're the landlord of the energy, you don't want people getting it for free. It's like somebody doing your job, like a volunteer scabbing out. God, we're in so much trouble. So screwed up. Oh, it was good to see Joe Biggs back on there. I haven't seen him for years, and I kind of missed him. I really think he's for real. I think he's an honest cat, and honest cats are not a dime a dozen. And I like Joe Biggs quite a lot. Quite a lot, I do. I really do. So I'm really happy to see Joe Biggs back on the Alex Jones show, and hopefully we're going to be seeing more of him as one of his paid reporters. All right, I guess I'm about done with talking points, current events, recent events, what have you, and I'm going to get on to some thoughts from the past couple of weeks. And by the way, I don't want to forget to tell everybody, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. It's one of my most favorite times, favorite holidays. It's good to get together with family and have a hot meal and just have a beer or whatever, glass of wine, just have fun, and it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. Those whom profess a belief, faith, trust in Jesus should take to heart a particular teaching. To paraphrase and condense, I quote, whatsoever we do or fail to do for the least of these, we do or fail to do for him. So who do you consider as, quote, the least of men? Are we treating said persons as we would treat Christ Jesus? Do we understand the, gosh, I've got to start writing so that I can read my own writing.